creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Hey there, all you
Good.
people out there, you fans, brothers and sisters, family, we're all a family. Mankind is a family. And I'd like to give you permission to give yourself to get hold of me. Ask me questions. Send me a cameo, something you'd like me to talk about for your benefit. And that way we're all smiling, laughing, and having fun. TikTok. Viva TikTok. Viva Talk Tick.
TikTok.
Hey. Bye.
Point Break. Great movie. You were awesome there, bud.
Heat waves in China are actually insane. China recently had their hottest month in observed modern history that could melt flip-flops, cook pancakes, and even get cars pregnant if they were left out in the sun for too long. But here's the part that blew my mind. When it gets really hot in China, people escape the heat by flooding into supermarkets and malls, not to shop, but just to sit there in the air conditioning. They will fill up the aisles, the staircases. This footage shows a man lying on the ground playing on his phone while his foot is inside the fridge. And elsewhere in the store, another guy can be seen sat on a meat-filled refrigerator taking the produce and putting it under his armpits to cool down. And believe it or not, this behavior is not really uncommon. When IKEA first launched in China, it was known as the people's bedroom. I mean, at first, IKEA did try and fight it, and they would have staff going around asking people not to sleep on the beds or the couches. But because of the sheer frequency of it, they eventually gave up. One supermarket said they had around 300 to 400 people every single day cooling off in their store. And according to reports, it's not that people don't have AC. You have young people often willing to turn it on. It's just that the older generation in China, which have been living frugal all of their lives, look for free alternatives because they see turning on the AC as a waste of money. And because the majority of these groups are made up by the elderly, it makes it so much harder for staff. Because they say even though it can start to smell like sweat and bare feet and disturb other customers, if they ask them to leave, they often get upset and say that they are doing a favor to the supermarket by being there. And that is why
I don't think 23 Celsius is bad at all. I don't know why everything is melting over there. Apparently, let me know how you feel about this.
The Bible says Behemoth lives under the shady trees in the fens. The Old English word fens means the swamp. Well, the largest swamp in the world is in Central Africa, right on the equator, called the Likwala Swamp. 55,000 square miles. It is 80% unexplored. In 1910, an article came out in the New York newspaper after folks had gone into the swamp, and they said, folks, there are dinosaurs still alive in that swamp. The natives kept talking about a couple of animals. When Dr. Mackel said, fellas, what is Mokale Umbembe? They draw a sketch on the ground of an apatosaurus or a cetosaurus, one like this right here. Dr. Mackel said, fellas, that's a dinosaur. They've been dead for 70 million years. And the natives said, we're sorry, we didn't know about that. We've never been to America to study evolution. All we know is we see them out in the swamp once in a while.
What?
Now, they're not very big, okay? They're about 20 feet nose to tail is what the natives will tell you. Most of the body's about the size of a hippopotamus, just a long neck and a long tail. Some guys from Los Angeles went to the swamp and said, look, we saw one. They said the creature was brownish in color. The skin appeared slick and smooth. It had a long neck and a small head. They heard it making a tremendous roar. Many other members of the expedition, and this includes government officials from the Congo, saw it and heard it. Marcelina Agnagna saw one. He's a biologist from the Congo. He said it looked like that. There have been about 30 expeditions into that swamp looking for this critter right here. Many of those that come back say, man, all the natives over there know about it. It's like, you know, it's not a big deal.
Let me know how you feel about this.
If no one sees you as an enemy, it means you're not important enough. If no one sees you as a threat, it means you're not strong enough. If no one talks behind your back, it means you're not outstanding enough. If someone is taking advantage of you, it means you have value. If someone isolates you, it means you're strong enough. If someone imitates you, it means you are charismatic. If someone slanders you, it means you are too prominent. If someone mocks you, it means you have unique thinking.
I like that.
If someone confronts you, it means you are superior to them. Remember that all these things stem from others not measuring up to you. Criticism is in fact a form of admiration. We share inspirational videos to help you get better every day. So hit follow and keep track of our account.
It just means being a good person. No need for drama. Thank you, AI Godfather. Bam. Nobody home.
No.
It's okay, buddy. You got insurance. You know, the caption says in the beginning, Steve Jobs boat. And where is all the staff?
1, 2, 3, go.
Ooh.
All good, all good. No worries. Check this out. All right, we're gonna drive this on the water and see what happens. Whoa! There he is. This is the Sea Reacher Model Z, the fastest one and best one they've made yet. Look at this piece back here. That right there is a snorkel because this can dive underwater. See these fins? Check this out. I can actually control them with these levers right here. Look at that. Over at the back, you have more fins. How cool is that? Now this is like a submarine, a boat, and a fighter jet all mixed into one. It can go up to 65 miles an hour, and take a look at the seating. It's just like a fighter jet, tandem seating, made of leather bucket seats right there. Down the middle, you have an infotainment system, surround sound, and this can dive 6 feet underwater for up to 30 seconds.
I mean, how do you even see where you're going? As fun as this looks, it probably would get a lot of people hurt.
Okay, so for anyone that fell out of the loop of what was going on with the Russia and Ukraine war, well, here's a wild place to pick back up on. Ukraine has turned the tables, and they are now invading Russia. Yeah, wild. So here's the details. Last week they entered sovereign Russian territory, which, may I remind you, a while ago Putin said if Ukraine stepped foot over the Russian border, it would be met with a nuclear clapback. So that hasn't happened yet, don't worry. And despite a lot of people saying that this incursion was going to be slapped down pretty quick, this morning it got even crazier because just now Russia has evacuated civilians from parts of a second region. The acting governor in this region said in meetings with Putin that Ukraine now controls 28 villages in Kursk, and they are 12 kilometers deep into Russia, and the front line is 40 kilometers wide. Roughly 80,000 people in total have been evacuated from their homes, and 2,000 Russian citizens still remain in those areas occupied by Ukrainian forces. Putin, in response to all of this, he said, we will have to kick the enemy out of our territory and they will see a worthy response. So just for perspective on the significance of this, this is the first time there has been an occupation of Russian territory since World War II. So yeah, I told you, wild place to pick back up on. I'll keep you guys updated.
Will this affect Brawl Stars and Roblox servers?
Everyone should take magnesium if they're struggling to sleep. Magnesium glycinate should only be taken at night. If you take it in the day, you'll get sleepy. Take 200 to 300 milligrams of that at night and see how much better you sleep.
This kind of remind me of 1998 in my country. Destroying your own town, not a one brain cell between them all. You need to rise, England.
Get involved in crypto in 2024, all you have to do, 3 simple steps. 1, open up your app store, download the Phantom wallet, click the Jupiter exchange, and have your wallet funded with some crypto. And in 10 minutes, you can be trading crypto, you can be buying crypto with no KYC, no centralization from any part of the world as long as you have access to the internet. That is the path of least resistance to the normies, and it's finally here.
Always play with the money you can afford to lose.
We eat human body as well.
How does human taste?
I'm looking to destroy bad people.
It's a good thing I am a good person, okay?
Okay.
You don't need to
Don't
destroy
worry,
me.
I don't bite you.
You don't bite me? Can you eat other Agoris when they die?
Of course, why not? $200 if I'm wearing. Yes.
$200 if you're wearing.
No free.
I understand.
Nothing free.
We've got ourselves in a pinch. Nothing is free.
$200.
$200? You mean 200 rupee? I'll give you a good donation.
Happy.
One.
Only 1,000?
Only 1,000?
Only?
That's okay?
No more?
No more?
You not come every day,
Yes.
I do not meet special everyday people.
Not every day, but this is my second time here.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. How much do you believe when they talk about eating people?
As far as I know, Agoris,
Yep.
they eat dead bodies.
Ew.
They are cannibals.
Yeah.
That
Our
body.
city is like a tourist city. It's getting famous. You found like most of the Babas are fake.
They act up. They will tell you like the most crazy fucking shit for a donation.
It can be real also. Because
Oh,
no
of
one's
course.
gonna-
Well, this
Cannibal people are all over the world. We still have one in Indonesia, in West Papua Island.
is pretty big. A teenager referred to as God's influencer is set to become the first ever millennial saint. Carlos Acutis died of leukemia in 2006 at the age of 15. And before I continue, just for all of the comments, yes, I know Blessed Bro looks like he died yesterday. What can I tell you? They're professionals. And since his death, he's built a global following of devotees who see him as a role model for modern youths. Now, the reason he is getting this very rare honor to become a saint is actually because he's credited with carrying out 2 miracles. The first was apparently 6 years after his death, when a Brazilian boy was cured from a very rare pancreatic disease after praying to Carlo to intervene with God. And then the second miracle was just in 2022, after a 21-year-old Costa Rican girl recovered from a severe brain injury after a bicycle accident in Florence. Now I know what you're thinking. What do the doctors think about this? Well, for them to even be approved as miracles, the doctors involved need to confirm that the patient's healing is medically unexplainable. So the doctors, I guess, seem to be good with it. He's also said to be named the future patron of the internet due to his love for gaming and spreading the word of God online. I mean, just think about that. We just got a saint that's used a PlayStation.
I'm just curious how the doctors are okay with not investigating why these patients recover. Seems interesting.
Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Oh, she looks so sweet. Turns out she's a monster. Look in. See, Hasina had a problem. Her government just got overthrown and she just got ran out of her country. And it all started with a simple question. Some students say, hey girl, can we get some jobs? She said, jobs? Why are you talking to me for then? Go get a job. They said, we can't because of your policy. Ah, the policy. See, Hasina's government had this rule. Listen closely. The families of those who fought for Bangladesh's independence were promised a big chunk of the best jobs in the country. But the students felt that jobs should go to those who were best qualified. So they protested. Hasina came in and said, that's my fault, y'all. I take back the policy. Go get your jobs. Everybody say, yeah. Hasina say, yeah. The Supreme Court say, yeah. Nah. The veterans' families were already promised jobs, so the policy comes back. Hasina goes, oops. Now, I know what you're thinking. This doesn't sound like Hasina's fault, but I forgot to tell you something. Hasina has been in power for 15 years. Whatever she says in government basically goes. So the students were like, we know you could do something. Hasina's like, so the people protest again. And here's where things start to get wicked. Hasina starts getting mad. He started calling protesters all kind of names, heating them up. So she refers to the protesters as Raza. I don't know if it's derogatory, so I'm gonna put it on the screen. Which basically means traitors, but worse. To all my black people, she basically called them coons. To everyone else, she called them traitor to your own people. Anyway, they go, what did you say? She goes, I said what I said. So the protests start to heat up. The government said Hasina. She said, man, I just said one word. They good. The government said Hasina. She said, So Hasina proceeds to people. Hundreds of people. Didn't I tell you she was a monster? What do you do when people protest? You say they're rioting, you show riots on the news, then you use force. And usually it works, until it doesn't. The people of Bangladesh fought back with everything they had. So Hasina's government reversed the policies again. They said, yo, you can have your jobs. They said, we don't want the job. He said, don't y'all want peace? They said, yeah, but you can't be here to see it. The time for talking was over. Too many people. They said, you and your government are gone or you finna have a problem. So she dips. She flees to India as the people of Bangladesh march through the capital city. Then they proceed to walk her down. They said, where's she at? India said, she over here. They said, you finna keep her? They said, no. So since India's probably gonna send her back so she can face her crime, she hits up the UK. UK said, I don't want no problems. Go ask America. America said, no. In fact, America said, send her back to Bangladesh. And Asian countries didn't even pick up her call. Because what's the point of pissing off an entire country for one person? They choose Nobel Peace Prize winner Muhammad Yunus as their current head of government while they elect a new official. But you know what's funny? A country of people overthrew their corrupt government and it's not front page news. Why? Because that would be bad for business. Your government in some ways probably doing the same thing as Hasina. They're like, ugh. So shout out to the people of Bangladesh for putting their...
Yup, shout out to Bangladesh people. This happened in Indonesia as well back in 1998. This one family had been ruling and exploiting our resources, since 1965 with the help of America. We overthrew them and expelled America from our country. Now we own our resources. I know it's far from perfect, but at least we have control. And yes, we pay China to build schools, roads, buildings, and high-speed train.
Did you know your backpack has a secret safety feature? Right there. It's a whistle.
Wow.
What? Okay, let's...
What?
My backpack doesn't care about my safety.
Do you have a quote that you live by?
I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe in love, although I'm alone. And I believe in God, even when He is silent. I never lose faith.
God is not silent. He speaks all the time. If you have the Holy Spirit, you know.
I am crying in front of this work of art. I just have to show this to you guys up close. This artist spent 7 years painting this portrait of his father. Let me show you what it looks like up close. Look at this detail. Look at these lines.
Yup. It's very detailed.
Stephen Kaltenbach, you fucking nailed it. I am lost in the beauty of this work.
Great job.
The tribute. It's really just the most incredible stuff. You better come to Crocker Art Gallery and see this, I guess.
This painting hangs at the Crocker Art Museum in Sacramento, California. It depicts the artist's father in the end stages of dementia as he passes into death.
The highest ranking members of Mr. Beast YouTube LLC for a long time was a known criminal on the sex offender registry. His criminal record states that the person he did these things to was extremely young. We're talking under 13 years old, and he was only fired recently with allegations that Mr. Beast YouTube LLC is trying to clear his name from public record. The high-ranking manager was on the sex offender registry. The dude even appeared in videos and for some reason, right, chose to put on a mask. I wonder why he's trying to hide his identity. His charge is from the state of Delaware.
What?
The victim's age is from 1 to 11 years old. That is ridiculously young.
Anybody that believes that he just does all of this out of the goodness of his little heart is crazy. There's definitely going to be a blend
But it seems like the more we learn, the more we know about this guy and his business and everything that he does. That blend's getting crazier and crazier, man. You know what I mean?
A family of bears threw a pool party in a Southern California backyard, and the homeowners have now embraced their unexpected role as Airbnb hosts. Ricky and Brian live right on the edge of the Angeles National Forest, where neighbors are used to living in close proximity to bears. But one mama bear named Maddie decided to make herself especially comfortable in their pool and brought her cubs along for a swim. Although the provided unicorn floaty didn't survive the bear wear and tear, Maddie and her cubs enjoyed the experience and kept coming back for more. Ricky and Brian say that they were initially a little bit nervous, but they've now come to cherish the visiting bear family. The bears are timid and they avoid human interaction, so if they pull up to the pool and see people, they turn right around on their own. And if the pool is available and they decide to hop in, Ricky and Brian don't mind staying inside and enjoying the rare opportunity to see these wild bears play. They try to be accommodating and replace the pool toys as they're destroyed. And since they know bears are around, they take extra caution to clean up food and trash quickly so that they never start to see the house as a food source. Ricky and Brian are fully committed to safe and responsible coexistence. And while they never expected to oversee a bear retreat, this is the bears' land too, and they're always welcome to come take a swim. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day.
Yo, y'all look at this and tell me, what does this look like?
Think about it for a second.
That's crazy.
That literally looks like hell. Like, not even figuratively. It literally looks like hell. And I'm telling y'all, that's why y'all gotta be careful with the secular music. Specifically music that glorifies sin, because a lot of these artists, these celebrities, these rappers, they worship the devil. They are straight up satanic worship leaders. There were it said over 85,000 people at that concert chanting the word fiend over and over and over again. Do y'all know what that word means? The word fiend can take on multiple meanings. The primary meaning is just to describe one who's addicted to drugs, but it can also refer to an evil spirit or demon.
Oh.
They're not even trying to hide it. The devil ain't even trying to hide it from you. It's like, yo, you gonna go and you gonna chant and you gonna worship me. And the worship leader is the artist who has made a deal with the devil. How else does he get 85,000 people? 85,000 people to go and chant demonic words. Look what it says in the book of Luke when the devil came to tempt Jesus. It says, then the devil took him up and revealed to him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. I will give you the glory of these kingdoms and authority over them, the devil said, because they are mine to give to anyone I please. I will give it all to you if you will worship me. Now, what does that mean? That means the devil has authority over a lot on this earth and in this world, right? And in exchange for worshiping him, he'll give you fame, he'll give you riches, he'll give you anything your heart desires. And a lot of these artists, celebrities, folks that have a lot of fame, money, a lot of them have taken that deal. It doesn't mean just because you're famous or rich, that means you have taken that, but a lot of these folks have. And that is why we have to be very careful who we're listening to when it comes to music, the media we're consuming, when it comes to these actors and celebrities, because a lot of them are corrupted by the devil. And you have to be mindful of that. Don't be naive to it.
Demons would be manifesting and people will still say, no, there's nothing demonic happening.
Frequently touched his nose with unwashed hands. And 10 years later, the doctors made a discovery that turned his life upside down. Paul, 30, had this strange habit since adolescence, touching his nose frequently with unwashed hands every day. He would regularly stick his fingers into his nose. His days often began with rubbing his nose after handling objects, taking public transportation, or touching public surfaces without washing his hands. Despite constant reminders of the importance of hygiene, Paul only wiped his hands with a cloth without ever using soap. His friends and family often teased him about it, but Paul saw it as an innocent tick. However, The situation worsened when Paul began to experience persistent fatigue accompanied by strange symptoms. He rushed to the hospital, and what the doctors discovered turned his life into a nightmare.
Oh man. He was handsome too, no diddy. But bro, this is sad. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people from my last video saying that nothing's coming, nothing's gonna happen, I'm paranoid, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna tell you like this is where I'm working, okay? I'll read that. That's where I'm working right now. The man who owns that company, I'll say Shilon Tuss.
Shilon Tuss.
You know, y'all know Shilon Tuss. Find the rhyme, the rhythm. He has us working 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week. I'm an electrician. I wire up all the machinery that they're using to build the trucks. I'm wiring up all the machinery that they are using to build these robots, okay? We are working 12 hours, 7 days a week. I have worked for TikTok. I have worked for Amazon. I have worked for Samsung. I have worked for Fortune 500 companies all year. Nobody is pushing their people like this, okay? 12-hour shifts. He is trying to complete this for something. I promise you, bro, soon as these robots go online, it will kill 80% of the job force. All you people driving trucks, in restaurants, who don't think this can happen in Japan, they already have robots serving tables. They already have nurses that are being robotically projected from monitors to help patients. Your job is not safe, okay? 80% of the workforce will be killed by these robots. As soon as he puts these AIs inside of these robots, I promise you, bro, they will think, be smarter, faster, and they do not need to sleep, bro. We call in. I called in 3 days ago because I worked 6 days straight. Robots don't do that, and that's what they are pushing for, bro. Have you sitting at home with the real ID, with your Fed Now money, taking free governmental universal income, slave, bro. Victim to the system, bro. They do not want you out here moving how you want. They do not want you collecting resources. They don't want you to do anything without their knowledge, bro. They want to track every transaction. They want to track your whereabouts. They want to know what you're thinking, bro. And all they want to do is monetize and commercialize that. It's that mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is taking things that should not be for money or for sale and making them for sale, like your soul, love, things of that nature, bro. And y'all say that it's not coming, bro. It's right around the corner. I promise you, bro, this is coming. Where I'm working right now has proven that. This man sends drones on the top of the buildings, drones inside the building to count how many people are working at all times. This is not a game, bro. I'm telling you, this is just his company, bro. Imagine what they're doing.
Look at that.
Like Facebook, all these companies are together. They're acting like they're competitors. They're not. They all have one agenda, bro. And each of them are doing their part. I promise you. I need y'all to really think about this, bro. They're building bulletproof trucks with robots. I don't know if you've seen it, but look it up. Recently, a guy just got pulled over in Dubai by a Cybertruck police, and it had a robot in it, and the robot gave him a ticket for using his phone and not being buckled up. And they sent the fine to his phone. I promise you, bro, these cars are not for normal civilians. You do not make bulletproof trucks for civilians. He is going to supply and fleet out the military and the police force, bro. We will not be able to run and hide. They've already stopped making V8 engines in trucks, and the Chargers are no more Hellcats or Hemis being produced. They're all V6s. We will not be able to escape this shit, bro. I promise you, bro, these robots are going to take your job. They're going to be police forced. They're going to be the new revolution, bro, and we're going to be on our asses like Idiocracy. I promise.
Just like in the movie I, Robot. I got you, bro. It's scary.
This is no ordinary tuk-tuk. Fabian Colucci races around in this customized tuk-tuk, which can produce huge speeds with its 600cc engine. It's designed to drift and race, and it really is the perfect speed machine. Certainly a world away from the leisurely cab service they're known for.
Were you guys aware that there is an invisible force field that literally separates Indonesia? This force field is so strong, not even the animals in the sea or in the sky can get through this force field. Check this out, y'all.
There is an invisible wall in Indonesia that no one can cross. This wall has divided Indonesia into two parts, and no animal, bird, or fish can cross it. The name of this wall is the Wallace Line, located in Bali, Indonesia. All these Asian animals live on the islands, but just 35 kilometers away from Lombok, all the Australian species of animals live. The animals from both regions cannot cross this line because it lies at the edge of many tectonic plates. The lava coming out from the cracks in the plates here heats the surrounding water, creating deep sea currents that make it almost impossible for any creature to swim across, whether they are animals or fish. Even birds cannot cross this line because, quite surprisingly, the birds living on both these islands are non-migratory and are not adapted to cover distances of more than 1.5 to 2 kilometers.
I had no idea of this invisible barrier. Were you guys aware of this? Imagine the things that goes on in the earth that we don't know about or they lie to us about, because everything they tell us is a lie regardless. But what do you guys think about this video? Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Make sure you follow this account. This is my backup account, y'all. Let's get this shift. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace.
Stop the cap. This guy is telling too much lie. He's reaching too much. This is the last time I'm playing his clip.
Story behind Coraline.
Oh, it's based on real?
With the button eyes, the doll?
Yeah.
That's all real. In New Hampshire, there was a grandma and a little girl. The grandma was taking care of the little girl because the girl's parents died in a fire. The whole house that they were living in got burned down. The little girl got rescued miraculously by the grandma. There was rumors going around the town that the grandma did witchcraft.
Interesting.
So when she was taking care of her, she didn't let her go outside. Everybody referred to the grandma as like a bad parent. Why aren't you letting your kids have fun? She said, you're not allowed to talk to no one, right? So there's these two kids that went into the house, that explored the house because they were like, where is this kid? So when they look around, they see kids' clothes everywhere. They go into the girl's room. It's a burnt.
Have you ever seen a picture of the PayPal Mafia? These are guys who all basically, they didn't live together. There's 23 people. Elon Musk was one of them. He was part of a gang of 23. 2 of them started YouTube. 1 of them started LinkedIn. 1 of them started Yelp. 2 of them started Palantir. 2 of them started Founders Fund, the second biggest VC fund in history. Ken Howard and Peter Thiel.
Bro, I'm in the wrong gang.
Have you ever heard of the GATE program?
No.
Program that was started way long ago back in the 80s. It was this program that was put into schools, and schools would pick out certain kids. It seemed kind of random, and they would just do certain testing and reading and stuff like that. It's just kind of a cool system, right? The problem with this program is that they're funded and created by the CIA. They would bring these kids into a windowless room, sit these kids down, and they would test them, being blindfolded in these tests as well, trying to move things. They would take field trips with the GATE program
No.
outside of the school. In one instance, they took kids into a museum, into a room where there was a mummy. And they had them stay overnight with no parental supervision.
No.
What? All this strange things, and it just doesn't make sense. And for the CIA to be involved, you know there has to be something malicious.
Yeah.
These are children. These are impressionable children that could be manipulated, but it's a fascinating thing because there's so much conspiracy around it.
That's so weird.
That's it. We're homeschooling.
Where did all the
I'm with you,
celebrities
girl.
go? I'll tell you, on my old page, I had them blocked. And even with them blocked, their posts and their ads and all their stuff was constantly on my FYP. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of brain dead nonsense on my For You page, but not any peep from celebrities, which are not blocked, mind you. I don't hear anything about them at all. I remember hearing that they built bunkers a few months back, maybe longer, but since then, crickets. I haven't seen anything. I wonder if it's just me or, I don't know. I'm finding it a little bit suspicious. So is this happening to anybody else? Are other people seeing them on their FYP? I'm genuinely curious.
The celebrity spell is broken. So now they're just regular people with no morals.
Okay, so I made a video about what's going on over in England at the moment with the riots, and I was telling the truth about it, about how it's set up by the elites in the world. And I made another video after my first one that went viral, and it ended up getting shadow banned immediately. That video got over 100,000 views. I actually think they have fear when certain creators are telling the truth about events in the world. Because I can't be the only one who just realised a few months back there used to be a lot of truth on TikTok, and there used to be a lot exposing about what's going on with kids and the likes of that in the world. And all them TikToks have been taken down recently. When TikTok first came out, it was very uncensored, and that's how a lot of people actually found out about the truth, was because of these uncensored TikToks. But I've noticed lately a lot of my videos have been shadow banned, especially when I'm talking about health and how the health system works in the world. So, yeah.
They call us conspiracy theorists for years, yet everything's come to light.
This is incredible, guys. Crown molding. I'm not going to point that out every time unless there's something special about the crown molding. It's probably going to be in every room. Like this. Oh my. There's like grapes and fruits and stuff in the crown molding. Holy crap. Like almost just there are no words. There's two fridges. They're both Sub-Zeros, one there and one there. Did a house like this about a year ago that was kind of well, not like the same theme, but the fridge matched the cabinets. I thought that's obviously very custom. That might be the blueprints. If it is, I'm not going to roll them out. I think the address is on the it would be on them, and I'm not going to obviously show that. 6 burners. What is that? Is that a can opener? What is that? Let me know, guys. What is that? Obviously I've never lived in a high-end home like this. So some help would be appreciated. Fridges we don't open. Remember, guys, we do not open refrigerators. Okay. Got like a preparation area here for where like the butler would get your food ready. You got a mini fridge there. Get you put your wine in it maybe, eh? Oh. Wow. Dining room, I'm assuming, probably right out the kitchen like that. I don't know the formal dinners in this room that they've had over the years. Just amazing. It's very cold in here. Like, I know it's cold outside, it's about 9-10 degrees today, but she's chilly one. She's a chilly one. Okie dokie, let's
It's a nice house.
Let's go take a look upstairs.
Look at that.
And believe me when I say there's a nice surprise in the basement we're gonna save for last.
It's still clean too.
Wow, look at this, guys. Oh my gosh. Absolutely incredible. I don't even... Reminds me of Versailles Palace. That's what, maybe that's what we'll call this video, because that's what this reminds me of.
How come all these celebrities' houses are abandoned? At least give it to someone or rent it out.
Familiar with David killing Goliath?
Yep, here we go. What you got for me?
Oh,
What's the nugget you got here?
Oh, there's a nugget in there.
Go ahead.
David goes out to take lunch to his brothers. The Philistine giant standing out there challenging the whole army. This little ruddy-faced kid says, "Oh, that big old thing think he is challenge my God like that." He says, "Shh, shh, shh. You're going to cause a disturbance." He said, "Man, I could take him." Well, word got to Saul, the king. They called him in, tried to give him the Saul's armor. That didn't work. He said, "I can't do this with this stuff. I ain't never proved that. I'll take what I know with my slingshot." He said, "Boy, that sling ain't going to help you." He said, "God delivered a bear and a lion to me while I was watching my daddy's sheep. God's got my back." So the Bible says that he went out past the river Jabbok and picked up 5 smooth stones. If he already knew that God was going to give Goliath to him, why did he pick up 5 stones?
Kind of just taking action on the faith? Why?
If you study your Bible long enough, you'll find out Goliath had 4 brothers.
Ooh.
Wow. So one for each one?
He had a rock for each one in case them 4 brothers stepped up.
Man.
That's a nugget.
Bingo, that's a nugget.
Imagine David standing over Goliath with 4 stones, looking for the next brother to step up.
This right here is fantastic parenting.
In the book of James, chapter 2, it says every person should be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to become angry, because the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. So can you say that? Slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to become angry. And that's what we're going to do today, and that's what we're going to focus on. So if your brother upsets you, are you going to yell at him? Are you going to get angry right away? When you guys are being unkind to each other, are you going to be quick to listen how that is affecting your brother or sister? You can take a deep breath and count to 4. Yeah.
Dads, you're not just a provider of your home. You're not just a protector of your home. You are called to be the priest of your home. Are you raising your kids intentionally in righteousness?
This is beautiful. A truly Christian dad leading his family.
Jim Carrey has retired from acting, left LA, and is now selling his LA home here behind these hedges where he lived since Ace Ventura 1. That's 30 years ago. But why does nobody want to buy it? From LA luxury realtor Tyler Neal. Let's dive in. Jim Carrey, who spent part of his childhood living in a tent, bought this 5-bed, 9-bath home in 1994 for $3.8 million during the release of his first big hit, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. The 12,000 square foot home sits on 2 beautiful acres with gardens, lush forestry, and a tennis court. It features vaulted ceilings with skylights, 6 fireplaces including in the dining room and in this stunning primary bathroom, waterfall pool and spa. But my personal favorite is this Art Deco style movie theater, which features numerous Jim Carrey iconography on the wall, including his famous costume from The Grinch and a popcorn concession room displaying his Riddler costume from Batman Forever. Carrey listed the home over a year ago at $29 million, but has since had to reduce the price by a staggering $7 million, and it's still not selling. A reason why might surprise you. Unfortunately for Jim Carrey, just before he decided to sell his house, a new LA City mansion tax was voted into law by a 55% majority of 5.5% on sales above $10 million. So if you bought the home today, in addition to property taxes already in place, there'd be an extra mansion tax of $1.2 million that would go directly to the city of LA, earmarked for affordable housing. Which sounds great, right? But there's a problem. The taxes caused LA's luxury and commercial real estate market to plummet at more than double the rate of other wealthy cities. So I want to hear from you. Is this mansion tax worth it, or should it be repealed, and why? Let me know in the comments.
You know, if you cut the price of a house by $7 million and it still won't sell, it's not because of $1 million tax. What do you think?
There are lots of cows in India, and when the cows poop, right, it's called a cow pie or a cow dung. It's found all over. You'll have mushrooms growing on them. When these cow pies dry, they have mushrooms growing on them. And these are magic mushrooms. And these gibbons, especially the teenagers, they've figured out that they can eat those mushrooms and they can expand their...
Really?
Yep.
This is something they do regularly?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep, and we have that too in Indonesia. Bali also have that.
Hours before the US invasion of Iraq, Saddam Hussein's son stole $1 billion from a bank. Qusay Hussein, the second eldest son of Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein, showed up at the Central Bank of Iraq on March 18, 2003. He showed them a note from his father and demanded $1 billion, which was a quarter of the country's currency reserves. The bank employees didn't dare to do anything against the will of the Iraqi dictator. Qusay Hussein had the money loaded onto 3 tractors that he brought with him and then left. The heist took just 5 hours. US troops later found $650 million stashed in the walls of a palace owned by Saddam Hussein. However, a large part of the stolen money was never accounted for. Qusay Hussein was found by American forces in July 2003, while his father was captured in December of that year.
Made a movie about US soldiers finding their gold, called Three Kings. Yep, good movie.
For far too long, people with the intent to do evil have worked together better than people with the goal to do good. This is a race against evil.
You're a gift from God, brother.
Why is it that prisoners are given food and water, but homeless people are not?
Because prisoners don't have free movement, but homeless people can move around to seek for food.
How old are you today?
102.
102. So you were born in
1918.
1918. And we were just talking, and I asked you what shape the Earth is, and what did you say? What were you taught in school in elementary school?
I was taught in school that the Earth was flat.
Where did you go to school? Elementary school.
I went to Spur Glen School in Hamden, Connecticut.
Okay, conspiracy theory says that globe not introduced into the schools until 1952, as dimensions of dome was left in encyclopedia until 1958, as deleted in 1959 when Ice Wall Treaty was signed. What do you think?
I just got back traveling Asia by myself for 3 months, and now I'm in Tenerife for the nightlife, and I feel unsafe. Honestly, 3 months in Asia, I didn't feel unsafe once. I've been here 10 minutes in Tenerife. Bro, I don't feel safe. I'm ready to leave. I can't lie. They have screens up in the McDonald's so the workers don't get attacked. Oh my god. No, this is madness. This is trash. This is bad. Oh my.
If you're from the area, please share your experience in the comment.
$300 million in one trip. It's said to be the cheapest form of shipping, but is it really that profitable? Let's dive into the data and see if sea freight is as lucrative as they say. First, let's break down the profits. Income comes from the shipping fees, while costs include ship leasing or container purchase, fuel, and labor. Take the world's largest container ship as an example. It costs about $160 million to build and can carry 24,000 containers. Shipping a container from Shanghai to San Francisco costs around $7,000. Assuming the ship isn't always fully loaded and each container isn't perfectly utilized, let's estimate with 20,000 containers per trip. Each trip would generate about $140 million in revenue. Now, let's consider the costs. Fuel for the 13-day journey from Shanghai to San Francisco costs about $1.2 million. Crew wages around $40,000, and miscellaneous port fees approximately $200,000. Total expenses sum up to around $1.4 million. This means the gross profit for one trip is about $138 million. Essentially, one voyage nearly covers the entire cost of the ship. But is it risk-free? Could other transportation methods replace it? Not likely. As of 2017, global maritime trade volume was 10.7 billion tons, accounting for 90% of total global trade. Given its cost-effectiveness compared to land and air transport, sea freight's dominance is irreplaceable. Feeling inspired? Why not buy a container ship and start your own sea freight venture?
Those costs are ridiculous. You have not included loading and unloading the containers, insurance, lease on ship, and 49 other costs.
The Yakima tribe has a story about a Bigfoot that lived with the tribe, and they said that this isn't a legend but a real story that's been passed down. This hairy-covered creature with glowing eyes came to live with the tribe. It communicated to them via telepathy.
Lived with the tribe.
When any of the tribal members got sick, it would heal them. And it lived with them for many, many years until it communicated that it was going to pass away and it needed to be brought to a specific location. So they do seem to have an expiration date. The tribe brought this Bigfoot creature to this location. They stood back. It took its last breath. It passed away. And then suddenly they watched as a UFO descended from the sky, picked up the UFO body, and took off.
That would be so cool if we found any sort of cave drawing or representation, of this creature that the Yakima made.
It was because you were actually involved in this cult in attacking Christians, weren't you?
Yes. So I was a channeler. I talked to the demons, and they relayed messages to the rest of the cult through me. And their goal was really just to cause chaos. But later on, I was 16 when, I'm just going to say it, I met Satan himself, which really obviously is shocking. And his priority for us, it changed the trajectory of the cult. And we started attacking just Christians, going after clergy specifically. we had names, addresses, workplaces, and that's what we did. We just harassed Christians. So
And that's going on now, isn't it? I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There are assignments on people who are actively engaged in worshiping and ministering, including now yourself. So we plead the blood of Jesus Christ over you.
Thank you.
That the Lord has victory, because you realized as this was going on that there were certain Christians or certain people that would not be at the effect of these prayer or these chants or these these practices.
Yep. So I would actually travel in the spirit, astral projection, to influence, I don't know, lust or something on a Christian. And in the spirit, I would see like a dome, like a blue dome, over groups of Christians that were praying, or just through all those experiences, I connected that we could not attack Christians as they were actively praying protection from God. Like, there was a no-go zone. Just absolutely no power. So I love it now. Like yes, thank you, God. But back then, it made me very angry. It made the demons very angry. And so at that point, that made me curious. How is this possible? How can Christians have this power to just nullify the demonics completely? So,
well, it's the Lord's Prayer, isn't it? That will be done. And lead me not unto temptation, but deliver me from evil. I mean, that Jesus gave that prayer. And you're testifying that, in fact, when we do that, pray, the enemy, God's enemy, the minions of demons and what have you, cannot affect us.
Yeah. It's perfect protection. Nothing can get through. So I take very great comfort in that now. And
yes,
Satan is defeated.
Yes.
He doesn't have any power. It's all an illusion. And I wish more people grasped that.
This must be why we are told to pray without ceasing.
Michael Jackson was deceased in 1979. When Las Vegas found out about it, they said they could not have a pop icon die in Las Vegas. They had just lost the R&B king, Elvis Presley, 1977. They said it would be bad business. So I understood they went to the Jackson family and told them what happened, and that you got other sons. If we say this about Michael, and it'll ruin you, you'll be back in Gary, Indiana, allegedly. All of a sudden in 1979, he's doing a commercial, and a fire happened, and his hair caught on fire.
Was that in 79? That was in the 80s, right?
1979.
In 79, his hair caught on fire?
1979, the Pepsi commercial.
Wow.
So he was in hibernation, rehabilitating, so they said that they had lookalikes because they were recreating a Michael Jackson and making a clone.
I Google Michael Jackson hair accident. The exact date is January 27, 1984.
CIA hires you when you're so young and so malleable that you're not an expert in anything except being a dumb. That's who they recruit. CIA also recruits high performers. But the difference between them and corporate America is that CIA understands what to look for in a person before they become a success. And that magic element, that secret sauce that they have, is that high performance is tied to childhood trauma. There's an actual chemical change in your brain during your formative childhood years that make it so that you are essentially committed to seeking approval and validation. If you don't have childhood trauma, you don't have that chemical addiction. They need people who are basically too dumb to quit and not smart enough to ask why, so that they can say, we're going to send you into this hellhole and you're going to do something illegal. And all they want you to say is, sweet, let's go. The only person who says that is the person who's too dumb to quit and not smart enough to ask why.
Okay. I guess I'm not joining the CIA.
NASA has issued a warning for what's happening tonight, so if you don't know, watch this video and make sure you share it around. So of course, there's been a lot happening in space recently, and for once this actually isn't a bad thing, it's pretty cool. Basically, this is known as the Perseid meteor showers, and it's been happening very subtly for the last couple of weeks and will be happening till the end of August. But last night and tonight, it is reaching its peak and will be visible all across the world. Scenes like this, it will be amazing to see, but make sure you get outside and see it because it won't happen this clearly again for a while. Now, NASA has basically urged people to get out of cities if they want to see this because, warning, you're not going to see it if you're somewhere with a load of light pollution. So they say go somewhere very dark so you can actually get the best chances of seeing scenes like this. So out into the woods or the countryside, just anywhere with little light. And yes, this is going to be visible all around the globe, so wherever you are, you should be able to see this. Best time to see it to the naked eye will be just after midnight and then an hour before sunrise, so get outside. As always, hit that follow button and I will keep you updated.
They eat cats, don't they?
Good morning. Good morning, my baby bunny. Good morning, a mini my ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 7. This number 8. Shooting around that again. Okay, here we go. Right. Shall we count? Copper. 1, 2.
Nice.
Three.
All right.
4. Yeah, there's 8 there. 5.
Ooh. 2 more.
Yeah. Come on, you can do it.
Come on.
You can do it. Do you want me to come and get that for you, sweetheart? Because I'm here. Because I'm a rubbish throw. Yeah. You can burn it.
This is so sweet, but is this safe for them and humans in the future? Wow, look at that.
This is the Body Vengeance.
A 110-volt electric doors. Pepper spray. You've got your front blinding lights, rear blinding lights, strobe lights, shocking doors, magnetic deadbolts, smoke screen, and pepper spray. This is bulletproof glass.
Starting price of $285,000. The price doesn't include options which add significantly to the cost. And the military package costs $125,000 extra and includes bulletproof glass, body armor, and smoke screen.
What is Web3? Well, Web3 technology is expected to be the next big upgrade for the internet. What we use now is called Web 2. Now, almost everything on our current internet, the Web 2 internet, is controlled and managed by the owners of the big platforms like Facebook, Google, Amazon. These platforms have the authority to collect and use our personal data, unless we tell them they can't, but a lot of people don't. They can use our search history, they can use our purchasing patterns, and they can also regulate access to their services, whether we can or cannot use them. Web3 strives to reduce that dominance by giving each of us more authority over our personal information and our online experiences. It will also try to make sure that people all over the world, no matter where they live or how much money they have, can use the internet and benefit from it. Blockchain technology and smart contracts are going to play a big part in Web3, making online transactions much more secure and more trustworthy. So you can think of Web3 as moving from an internet controlled by the few and giving more power to the many, us. There's a lot to learn about blockchain, smart contracts. Web3 technology is a lot more than I just told you about. I suggest you may want to go to our website. It's spelled GODYPTO.com. GoDipto.com.
Jujutsu Kaisen is actually based on real life. There's a person that eats a piece of a demonic body. Whoa. And when he eats it, he gains the powers and he becomes half of that demon. In Japan, 2005, there was a construction for this temple that we were gonna tear down. These 4 students were kind of ghost adventurers. They found a box with a body inside of it that was deemed to be supernatural. So what they did, they snuck onto it and they opened it up. And what they saw was a body with 2 heads, 4 arms, and 4 legs. This body is presumed to be same as Jujutsu Kaisen. The name of the demon, Sukuna. This deity has 2 heads, 4 arms, and 4 sets of legs, yeah. After these students found the body, all of them got cursed. First one of sickness for whatever reason. Second one died again from like a fever. The third one checked itself into like a mental hospital. The fourth one just in like an accident. What's crazy is they brought the body to get studied. They wanted to investigate more. It turns out
I don't trust government. I've been in it my whole life and I don't trust it. There's a group of folks that are inherently, they're power hungry and they're evil and they don't share yours and my values. And you can talk about the compartmentalization of this stuff and how do you keep something like that secret? Well, I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I back up to Oak Ridge National Laboratory. And there's 6,000 people that work at Oak Ridge that live in my district. But Oak Ridge is where they developed the atomic bomb. Well, one of them anyway. And I was knocking on this old guy's door as an old man. He's putting his flag out. And I was talking to him. I said, "You a veteran?" And he said, "No." He was kind of a little embarrassed. He said, "I worked at Oak Ridge during the war." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." And I hugged him. I said, "Listen, brother," I said, "if it wasn't for you," I said, "my dad was on Okinawa. They were getting ready to invade mainland Japan. Truman said there'd been 1 million casualties. I mean, the kids were sharpening sticks. It was going to be brutal. That island fighting, and you'd have backed them up into their own homeland. They had the suicide subs and the kamikazes, and they were loaded up."
Hey, Kenny Murphy, how many kids do you have?
I have 60 daughters and 48 sons.
48 sons and 60 daughters?
What?
How many grands you got?
I got 168.
168.
The real definition of Papa was a rolling stone.
You guys want to hear something terrifying? The Prophecy of the Pope. This book was found in the Vatican archives in the 1500s, and it was authored by, his name was Malachi of Armagh, but this book has 111 cryptic phrases. Basically, it predicted every single pope from in 1143 all the way to our current pope, Pope Francis.
No way.
But the scary thing is, after Pope Francis, the last one, it just says, "in Judgment Day."
Oh gosh.
It literally ends after Pope Francis?
Yes. The creepiest thing that I saw inside St. Paul's Basilica, like bordering the whole inner sanctuary, is every single pope, like a picture of every single pope. But what's weird is that there's only a certain amount of markers to where you can put a picture. One left after Pope Francis. They have always said that once that last slot is filled, it will be the end of the world. What he predicted and the time it took to go from the first pope that he wrote about to the second halfway mark pope was 422 years. And he's saying from the middle one to the end, another 422 years will be the end of the world. And if you do 422 years from the middle pope, which was 1585, that year is 2027.
Dang!
Pope John the 23rd, he said that the end of the world would happen 2,000 years plus Christ's life. So that adds up to 2027 as well.
Countries with the lowest testosterone. It is said that testosterone levels in the body are influenced by environmental, genetic, and lifestyle factors. According to various studies, Brazil is placed at number 10 on the list, with people on average having 380 nanograms per deciliter testosterone levels. Finland comes next, just about, with 378 nanograms per deciliter. Meanwhile, the Latino country of Honduras is at the 8th place with 373 nanograms per deciliter on average. Then we have Poland, 360, and Estonia, 358, being the 7th and 6th lowest countries in terms of testosterone levels, respectively. Now, the top 5 spot is reserved for Chile, which has 350 nanograms per deciliter on average. Belarus comes next with an average level of 345. Meanwhile, Thailand holds the top 3 spot with an average of 340 nanograms per deciliter. South Korea is number 2 on this list with a testosterone level of 320. And the country with the lowest average testosterone level in the world is, please roll the drums, Japan. Japan has an average of 300 nanograms per deciliter.
A seal pup was rescued by a herd of confused cows who surrounded her after finding her stuck in mud in the middle of a field. The 5-day-old pup had become separated from her mother and ended up in Frampton Marsh, a sanctuary and nature preserve. Some inquisitive cows noticed her, and not knowing what to make of the unusual creature, the whole herd started gathering around her. At the same time, a birdwatcher named Ian was taking a stroll through the reserve, and the large gathering of cows caught his attention. Sensing that this was abnormal and there was probably a reason for the impromptu cow meeting, Ian walked closer and found the seal pup in distress. He called the Natureland Seal Sanctuary, and rescuers responded immediately, taking the seal pup in and naming her Celebration. She wasn't in great shape, but in their care, Celebration recovered from dehydration and a lung infection. And she met another rescued seal named Charlie, who arrived around the same time she did. During her stay at the sanctuary, Celebration and Charlie became the best of friends, and side by side, they both gained the strength that they needed to be released. When they were healthy enough, the seal friends were released into the wild together, with Ian in attendance to wish them well. Thanks to the cows that brought attention to Celebration before it was too late, and to Ian for noticing, she was given the chance to live her life out in the ocean as she should. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day.
Inflation is a tax on stupid people. Inflation only comes from one place. There's only one group of people that can print money, and that's the government. When the government says inflation came from anywhere else, it's beyond nonsensical. Like, you have a monopoly on the currency. So if there's inflation, it came from the government. This never happened before 1913. And, in the past 110 years, the currency's been devalued 98%. A millionaire 110 years ago, that's significant wealth. And today you'd have to have $50 million to have the equivalent spending power that a millionaire did a bit over 100 years ago.
So why before 1913 was there no inflation, you think?
That's when the Federal Reserve Bank was formed, where you could start playing games with the currencies and creating inflation.
Difference between inflation and price gouging.
You just lost yourself a customer. You think I own this business? You think I own IKEA? I'm a part-time employee halfway through a 2-week notice. I don't give a I know the sale ended last week, but can I still get a discount? Do you hear yourself? We can't go backwards. Time marches on. You want the sale from 15 years ago, too? When's it end, Diane? I'd like to speak to your manager. I'd like to speak to your mother. Tell her she should be embarrassed. She raised someone to act like a baby in public. You want to speak to the manager, please? The manager doesn't know what's going on. Haven't you ever worked anywhere before? Can you just check in the back? Can you just accept we don't have it? The back ain't some magical place. What do you think is back there? Santa's workshop? The website said it was in stock, and what do your eyes say? Sometimes it's wrong. The website also has pictures of employees smiling. You see that?
I want to shop at that IKEA. I'm going there now.
I like to speak to your mother. I'm using that. All right, folks. Thank you for staying till the end. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make a better content. There's a free gift below. And if you want to buy me coffee or support me through Patreon, the links are in the description below. Have a prosperous day and God bless.